All right, guys and girls, you can see that Chris and I are kind of looking at the lake here on a beautiful afternoon. It's cloudy, thunder rumbling around a little bit, and it's pretty much a mess, isn't it, baby? Pretty much a mess. We got, you see, well, you see down there where the trash is, that's how high the water got. So the very top of the trash is how high the water got. So when we got home the other night, that's about where it was. It might have been a little bit below that. But anyway, you can see there, I'm going to kind of go around the house here in a minute. Chris wanted to come out and look, and I thought I would go assess a little bit of the tornado damage around and give you a little bit of closer look at what's going on down there. We're blessed. I mean, what can I say? I almost didn't want to do this because we've had such little problems in reality. Now, you can see the boat dock down there is a problem. You can see that roof. We're going to go down, and I'm going to walk on the lake. I'm going to go up that other side, and we'll go to that little area right over there, that beautiful area that's on the other side of the house. It'd be a great place to put a house over there if one of my grandkids or kids want to build a house down here someday. I know Sherry's going to build a house down there, but she's got a different spot than that picked out. I thought that would be a good one. And she's close by. Maybe she doesn't want to be that close. But anyway, let's take a walk down there and see what we can see and look and show you what happened around the house. We've got quite a bit of this cleaned up already. We're cleaning up as we're talking right here. That old dead tree right there and the tree down there with the light on it survived the tornado. It survived it. You can take a little look in the yard here and see just a little bit of what's going on here from the tornado damage. These are big trees, and we've got just about cleaned up, actually. We've cleaned a lot on it already. Apache's been picking up big trees with the skid steer, and you can see he cleaned a big area out right there. But here's kind of the amazing thing when you think about it and look at it. All of these trees and tree limbs all busted off and fell off in the yard, and they all fell away from the house. You can kind of look up here, take a look at what damage a tree can do. There is our little deer pen right there that we used to raise some of the baby deer in the last couple of years. And you can see that just that one tree limb fell on it, and look at the damage it did to it. It basically ruined it. We may be able to fix it, I don't know. But it basically ruined that little deer pen. And Apache's been up here with the skid steer. You can look back there and see the basketball goal. I think the backboard is broken, but the basketball goal was right here behind this building where this ladder is, and that fish attractor right over there. You can see what happened there, and it's pretty amazing when you really think about it. And the tornado came right through, and the building is right here that the tornado shelter is in, building number 1. The back part of that building goes all the way across the back of it. Tornado shelter that is bolted to the concrete, so that building could leave and that shelter would still be there. You can see just how close, and that limb fell down right there, how close it came to falling on that building. But again, it didn't. Now, we've cleaned some up on the other side of the house already. But again, here is the deal. And there are trees, like you take a look at that tree right there. It's basically leaning a little over toward the house. That tree right there, leaning toward the house. And then trees all around the house. The trees over on the other side, same deal. They fell the other way. And here's an amazing deal right here. This tree here is really leaning toward the house. Now, it doesn't look like much, and you say, well, not a lot of it's going to hit. It's going to break the windows out in the bedroom for sure. Probably damage the roof up there where it would be leaking and need some work done. And you look at this big limb right here. The top of that tree broke out. That's something that we picked up. That's something we picked up and carried off. That limb there is hanging down. So it's pretty doggone amazing. We'll go down and take a close look at the lake after a bit. But see what it looks like down there. This is just one side of the house, and we picked up a lot of limbs already. You can see right here, this all this in here where there are just remnants of the trees that fell right here. We picked up all those limbs, and pretty amazing. Benelli's picking up limbs as well. The only thing is she doesn't stack them up. She moves them around, but she doesn't stack them up. But Apache's running the skid steer and getting all of those cleaned out. This is just a small fraction of what it looks like in Sulphur. But tornado damage nonetheless, but we are very, very blessed. You know, I keep saying that. I've been saying it all my life. And I guess I'll say it as long as I live on this earth. As we come over to the east side of the house, we find a little bit less storm damage. There are some trees down over here. That's a big limb right there. Here's another limb right here that you can see that's really close to the house. Both those limbs right there close to the house, but that one fell right by it. And you can see where that limb came from. That limb came from right there, off of that, right there off of that tree. See that spot right there? Zoom in on it. That's that limb we're looking at, laying right there. Now, if you'll look and see, that puppy was over the house. See that one there? It's over by that old satellite dish right there. Satellite dish right there is not in effect. We've got one of Elon Musk's Starlink system here now, which is a lot better system that we've got. But you can take a look at that right there and see that that it's well, no, wait a minute, that might be in stock. I don't know. No, I don't think it is. I'm not sure. I think no, it's not. That satellite system's not. But you can see that limb there is right over the house. That limb did not fall. It would have fallen on the house, at least damaged something. That other one that's laying here was, and it didn't damage. It fell in the yard. Didn't damage anything at all. As I begin to move on out a little bit here in the woods, and we've got this sporadically all around. We've cleaned up a lot of the other side of the house already, but we've got this sporadically kind of all over the ranch, stuff like this right here. That's just simply a big tree. I hear a lot of thunder right now. You can look down, there's another large tree down. This is nothing like it is at the park, at the National Park in Sulphur, where they've got huge, huge trees and lots of them. You look out through an area like this, where you can see all those trees that I've got here. You can look at that area and you just don't see hardly anything. I mean, nothing at all. Just trees laying on the ground. No trees standing up hardly. Absolutely horrible. This is pretty typical of our damage on this side of the house. We got several trees. Not too awful many, but several that are like that. And that's basically just to demolish that tree. You can see the tree is laying on the ground right over here. And it's a big tree, big, beautiful oak, but it's no more. And like I said, it's nothing like it was in town. We're very blessed here on Twin Eagle Ranch. But we got a few of these down over here on the east side. You can kind of take a look at this little ditch. This little ditch was running a tremendous amount of water. You can see how that the leaves are all washed out of that ditch and washed up on the side. Made the ditch kind of big again. That ditch comes down from there, coming off the driveway, comes from right there. And then it goes over here. There's another little gully way that comes in right there. That was carrying about enough water to surf on. And it turns and runs right here and runs through and over a little culvert right there and runs into the lake. Now we'll just walk down and take a little look at the lake, and you can get an idea what it looks like right now. It's certainly still overfull. You can see how big the lake is there, but let's just walk down and start taking a look at it and go down toward the boat dock, which was really damaged, really damaged. This, of course, is the end of what I just looked like, and you can see the water was all the way up to where the trash is. You see the trash line? Water was all the way up to there. That's a little pocket out in front of the house. Out on the other side of it, in the lake, we catch a lot of fish, but you can see how wide it was right here. The water was all the way up to here, and that's pretty wide. And the water was coming over. You can tell by looking at the way the grass is turned, that the water actually came over the top of that drain. Wasn't large enough to carry all that water. So some of it had to run over the top. And as we got more and more and more water in here, it obviously got pretty deep, pretty high. As we walk down here, we're going to turn around and walk. This is walking away from the pier and the dock. Just give you a little idea. Again, this is the water was clear up to there. Where the trash line is, see the trash line right up here? That's where the water was. That's how high it got. Take a look and see how far we are from the water right now. But Nellie's having a lot of fun running and jumping and playing in the water. But the water was all the way up to where I am standing right here. And you look down through there, you see the logs laying in the yard. They floated in there. And it's that way all the way around the lake. You can go on and follow up on that upper side. And that's exactly what it's going to be like. Now, I can take my Ranger boat and go way, way up there on that lake right now. I am going to fish, actually, at least one day this week. We have a couple of appearances this week, but I do have one day scheduled and I'm going to be able to fish. Really, really looking forward to that. All right, let's go take and walk the bank that goes down toward the dock. Let's head off that way, see what happens. This is kind of a little scary sight as we walk over. We look at this pipe. That pipe was completely covered with water, but the water running across the top of it has washed it out from here about 8 foot. That's about 8 or 9 foot of pipe there that's completely covered. So we will need to cover that back up with dirt, and we'll cover that back up with dirt and get grass growing over the top of it. But it just simply washed out from the force of the water going over the top, going down into that area. Okay, we're in the yard now. This is what we call lakeside. We're not sure if it's our front yard or it's our backyard. But again, you can see just how far the water was, how high it was up here. Way up this high right here. And there's some fire ants right there. These fire ants are just absolutely horrendous. And you can see that they've built a big old house up there. And if you take a stick or something and mess with those fire ants, I can tear up their house or something. You can look and see what's inside of one of those. I'm telling you, fire ant city. Look at all of them. That's what happens when you step. And they all go to work immediately. See them moving all the eggs back around and everything? They all go to work immediately. Now, they're crawling out here toward me right now, and I'm going to get out of the way real quick. But we'll get some stuff. I meant to get some yesterday and forgot all about it. We'll get some more fire ant killer. We'll get rid of all those fire ant mounds. But that's pretty amazing right there. You take a look at it. Wow. Ants are busy people, aren't they? They are busy people. All right, we kind of walk down here. You can see that the lake was clear up here where I'm standing. I'm standing right on the edge as high as the water got. And it got up this high and stayed up this high for a little while. It is going back down now. But you can see all of these reeds that were here pretty much got wiped out. We still have a few reeds. We do have some water bushes still in the water. Buck bushes, I call them. And you can look down toward the dock and see the dock. I'm going to get down there close and show you some close-ups of that. You can see it looks like it's a total wreck, which it is. The pier, on the other hand, is hopefully not damaged. We'll find out once it clears off. But it's standing where I'm standing right now. Just look down toward the dock and you can see that was all water. Where you see the brown going up on the grass, that's where all the water was, and it carried all that debris up there. It's that way all around the lake. And big logs in the yard. We'll put all these in piles and get them down here and burn them. And grass will eventually grow back over them. God heals his own land. And that's exactly what will happen here. All that stuff on that grass got it terrible, but he heals it. We'll get down there and look at that dock a little close up here pretty soon. But this is what we're looking at right now. The lake extremely high. The debris is filling up our spillway every single day. We're having to go down there and clean it out. We'll probably take a ride down there and look at that as well on this video. See what the spillway looks like and do a little cleaning up down there. Do a little cleaning up on the spillway. But that's what we have as we walk on down toward the dock. You can see some pretty good sized trees here in the yard. Pretty good sized tree right there. Cedar, oak trees. We walk down through the yard. It's just worse and worse and worse. These are big trees. We will cut these up with a chainsaw, and we won't bring the skid steer out here because it'll ruin the grass. So what we'll do is we'll clean all these up, all the debris up here that we can rake up and put in a wheelbarrow and stuff. We'll haul off. We got a lot down there. The lake is still high. It's You can see it's above. Water's been on the pier. I don't know if it got in my Texas Hunter fish feeder or not. I may have to get new electronics and put in the bottom of that fish feeder. But you can see that's a big old tree right there. That's a big tree. We walk here where we're walking right now. The water was clear up to right here, which is right here by my feet. And this is pretty high. You can see we're pretty good ways above the water level right now. And you see all of those big giant logs that was carried down the lake. And Beamer, she says, I'll walk out on the dock, boss. And I'll probably do that myself here after a while. Just got an awful lot to do around here, a lot of work. But we're not afraid of work, that's for sure. The grass is growing through all of that. You can see the grass coming up through the debris. And that debris right there is a huge stack right there with a huge log in it. But again, this is nothing, guys and girls, compared to Sulphur, Oklahoma or Holdenville, where the tornadoes hit towns and cities. Out here, it was just one house, and the Lord protected that house. But you can take a look and see the water is still up on our walkway, pretty good ways. Big giant log right there. And the water should be right behind those trees. Now, when that water goes down, we're going to have a lot of that stuff in there also. But we'll clean all this up. This old dead tree right here, we got a light on it. I don't know how it can stand up much longer, because when it falls, it's going to break that light. But we got electric run right here. We'll probably put a regular light pole, like normal people do. Might hang an American flag on it. After all that's gone on, anti-America rallies and anti-Israel rallies here in the United States. Protests, they call them. As the media says, mostly peaceful, unless you happen to be an American or a Jew. And then it's not too peaceful for us. But you can see that scamp down there, that water scamp, was already turned over upside down, so the tornado did not do that. But the kayak that was on the dock is way off down there. Now that one got off of the dock. You see it sticking out back there. You see the nose of it right over that trees right there. That's the kayak that was laying on the dock. Jackson kayak that got off into the water. That was laying on the pier, not the dock, but the pier. The one that was laying on the floating dock is still on the floating dock, which is off over there. It broke loose from the dock. That kayak is still on there, still sit there. Isn't that amazing? And those weren't but about 20 or 30 yards apart probably. One of them sat on the dock and on the floating pontoon dock and still there. The other one was on the big dock and it got in the water. So just never, there's always strange things that happen in these tornadoes.